You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices.
This broadcast was aired on Monday, the 24th of January of 1927.
How to pick cotton by the yard is the first bit of information for the housewife today. This is followed by a timely discussion of foods, a menu for cold winter days, and a recipe from the experimental kitchens of the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
Do you remember what I told you last Friday about January white sales? Talking about the sales put me in the proper mood for buying, and I spent 3 hours Saturday afternoon in the dry goods sections of 3 department stores. I don't expect to get all the material I bought made up before June, but then it's in the house, in case I run out of something to do, which doesn't seem likely. Last fall, the cotton pickers of the South harvested a record-breaking cotton crop. Over 18 million bales, it is estimated, will be the total for 1926. Since there is such an abundance of raw cotton, the white sales this winter afford us an excellent opportunity for replenishing supplies of household textiles. I bought a dozen pillowcases, half a dozen sheets, half a dozen Turkish towels, and enough unbleached muslin for 2 mattress covers, 2 ironing board covers, and new curtains for the kitchen and bathroom. Like old Ms. Means in The Hoosier Schoolmaster, I believe in getting a plenty, while I'm getting. Having had several unfortunate experiences in buying sheets, I determined to get just what I wanted last Saturday. I like sheets which are 24 to 36 inches wider and longer than the mattress, so that the ends and sides can be well tucked in to hold the sheet in place. This also allows for a generous turnover on the top sheet to protect the blankets or other covers. I got very good quality in the sheets. The material has a firm weave, with very little sizing or starch. I find that unbleached sheeting makes excellent slip-on covers for mattresses. Unbleached sheeting costs less than the bleached, wears just as well, and gradually washes out white. All my purchases are true bargains, excepting perhaps the Turkish towels. I bought them last, and did not examine the material carefully. The toweling doesn't have a very firm weave, and I am afraid that under hardware, the loops will pull out and leave holes. Next time I shall select Turkish towels with a firm weave and a selvage with a firm, even edge. Besides the white goods, I bought some gingham and several yards of calico in an old-fashioned pattern, tiny blue roses on a cream-colored background. That's for a smock for myself. I have just learned recently that calico gets its name from Calicut, in far-off India, where printed cloth originated. Now, when I wear my smock, I shall forget about such prosaic jobs as washing dishes and cleaning sinks, and imagine that I am looking straight out the window toward the Indian Ocean, instead of my neighbor's backyard. But to come back from the Indian Ocean, there are a number of questions I must answer before I broadcast the menu. Here's the first one. You said something the other day about mercerized cotton fabrics. I should like to know whether the sheen will stay on mercerized cotton material after it is laundered. Textile experts of the United States Department of Agriculture say it will, if the fabrics are really mercerized. True mercerization makes cotton fabric stronger and gives a gloss that will last as long as the fabric. Sometimes the cotton yarns are mercerized before weaving, or the cloth itself may be given this treatment. The result is the same in either case. The cotton acquires a silky finish, and yet is just as easy to wash and iron as plain cotton, and wears even better. Mercerized cottons are being woven into damask and towelings, which look much like linen. These mercerized cotton tablecloths, napkins, and towels, however, do not have the smooth feel and the ability to absorb moisture that make linen one of the most highly prized textile fibers for such articles. Nevertheless, the mercerized cottons are just as good for many purposes, and their lower costs make them attractive. For summer dress goods, mercerized cottons are hard to equal. They are durable, cool, and easily laundered. The next question is about food. Has a banana any food value? A banana is very high in food value. In fact, almost 1/4 is starch and sugar. In addition, a banana contains a small amount of protein, a trace of fat, and a small percentage of mineral matter. A banana should be fully ripe before using, in order to get the best flavor and the most digestible condition. One authority, in discussing food for young children, suggests the occasional use of a little scraped ripe banana. In buying bananas, be sure the stem end is left on. In this way, the food is delivered in a sealed package. Baked bananas are goods served in place of a starchy vegetable with meat, or as a dessert. Third question. Should food be removed from a can as soon as it is opened? No, it is not necessary to remove food from a can as soon as it is opened. As a matter of fact, transferring the canned product to another receptacle might add to the danger of contamination. Fourth question. What is the food value of rice? Can it be used as a substitute for potatoes in planning meals? Rice and potatoes are not exactly the same in food value, even though both of them are rich in starch. Potatoes contain some minerals and vitamins, in addition to the starch. Milled rice does not contain these minerals and vitamins. If there are plenty of fruits and vegetables in the daily diet, using rice instead of potatoes makes little difference in nutrition. The needed minerals and vitamins are supplied by the vegetables and fruits. However, if the diet is so limited that potatoes are one of the few vegetables served, the situation is different. Then one must be careful to provide some foods which contain the substances lacking in rice. Cooking rice with tomato juice is a good way to overcome this deficiency. This is the time of the year when the housewife must pay special attention to vegetables. Cabbage, carrots, beets, parsnips, turnips, celery, onions, and squash are available in most markets at reasonable prices. And there are all the canned vegetables, too. Canned tomatoes, for instance, are as efficient a source of vitamins as fresh, uncooked tomatoes. And don't forget sauerkraut as a winter standby. Although some of the canned vegetables may not be so good a source of vitamins as fresh vegetables, they contain minerals which are essential to good health, and they supply needed bulk. Cabbage is particularly valuable for its vitamins, especially when served raw, and combines well with other foods to make tasty salads. Cabbage salad has many possibilities. Either white, green, or curly cabbage may be used. Chop it fine and combine it with one of the salad dressings in your radio cookbook. This salad may be used alone on a cabbage leaf, or it may be served on lettuce. It is also good served on a slice of pineapple. A still more elaborate salad is made by adding grated cheese to the pineapple-cabbage combination. A very attractive way to serve this cabbage salad, if it is made from curly cabbage, is to hollow out the head and use it as a bowl from which the salad is served. Of course, there is not such a variety of vegetables now as there will be in the summer, but those available may be served in a variety of ways: buttered, creamed, baked, scalloped, or in salads. Soups and stews are also good methods of utilizing vegetables, which brings me right up to the menu in a most logical manner. How would you like a good onion soup for these cold January days? This soup is hearty enough to serve as the main dish at lunch or supper. Besides the onion soup, we shall have a vegetable salad, and for dessert, canned fruit or stewed fruit. The onion soup, the real name is onion soup au gratin, is made of 8 ingredients as follows: 3 cups meat broth, 6 medium-sized onions chopped, 1½ teaspoons salt, 4 tablespoons flour, 2 tablespoons cold water, pepper, toast, cheese. 8 ingredients. Let's see if everybody has 8. 3 cups meat broth, 6 medium-sized onions chopped, 1½ teaspoons salt, 4 tablespoons flour, 2 tablespoons cold water, pepper, toast, cheese. Cook the chopped onions in a small amount of water until tender. Then add 2 tablespoons of fat from the meat broth or the same quantity of butter, and let the onions cook down until they are yellow. Mix them with the mat broth for a few minutes. Pour the soup into bowls or soup plates, place on top a round or slice of toasted bread, and sprinkle grated cheese on top. Serve at once. To repeat the menu: onion soup au gratin, vegetable salad, and canned or stewed dried fruit. Now, instead of telling you to send for the radio cookbook, if you have not already done so, I am going to broadcast the names of 2 bulletins which will help you in choosing good material for the spring sewing. Armed with the information in these bulletins, you will be able to judge weaves, finishes, and dyes in the cotton fabrics which are used so extensively in the home. The first bulletin is number 1449, Selection of Cotton Fabrics. The second is number 1516, Principles of Window Curtaining. Both bulletins are sent free by the United States Department of Agriculture.
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.